Do you want us to stop? Sorry, we've only just begun warming up. The silence in the council chamber was abruptly broken by Captain Alex Harper's bold declaration. As the representative of Earth, Harper's words echoed through the grand, oval room, packed with delegates from myriad alien species. A wave of stunned whispers rippled across the assembly. The request for a ceasefire had come from the Galactic Council, the supreme governing body of the universe, and they hadn't anticipated such a reaction. High Chancellor Theron of the Luminar Dominion, a being of radiant energy and current leader of the Council, flared with irritation. His voice, transmitted through a universal translator, resonated with a commanding tone. Captain Harper, we urge you to reconsider. The conflict has reached unprecedented levels of destruction. We convened this meeting to negotiate peace. Captain Harper leaned back in his chair, a rugged grin playing on his lips. His casual demeanor starkly contrasted with the Council's formal decorum. Destruction? You've seen nothing yet. Earth has just unified under a single banner. For the first time, we have a common enemy, and let me tell you, it's been quite a bonding experience. From the side, the representative of the Xaraat Collective, a bipedal insectoid with a chitinous exoskeleton, clicked its mandibles anxiously. Humans, this war has cost countless lives. Entire systems are in ruin. Surely, there must be a better way to channel your vigor. Harper's eyes narrowed, his grin unwavering. Look, Ambassador, I appreciate the concern, but you don't understand. For centuries, humanity was divided, tearing itself apart over land, resources, and beliefs. When you all showed up, it was like a cosmic intervention. Suddenly, we had a common goal, a reason to push beyond our limits. And let me tell you, there's nothing more dangerous than a species with something to prove. The council members shifted uneasily. The representative from the Saffron Coalition, a gaseous life form contained within a pulsating sphere, spoke up. Captain Harper, we understand the historical context. However, continuing this conflict threatens the stability of the entire galaxy. We need to find a resolution. Harper chuckled, a mix of amusement and menace in his voice. Resolution? The only resolution we see is total victory. Our scientists are working around the clock, our factories are churning out war machines, and our soldiers are eager for battle. You want peace? Convince the Xaraat Empire to surrender. A murmur of agreement and discontent spread through the council. The Xaraat, a reptilian race known for their expansionist policies, have been the primary antagonists in the current galactic conflict, igniting the skirmishes that had engulfed the galaxy. High Chancellor Theron's luminescence dimmed slightly, a sign of contemplation. Captain Harper, the Vorton delegation has shown willingness to negotiate. They recognize your species' tenacity and resilience. Perhaps we can mediate a dialogue between your two races. Harper's grin faded, replaced by a steely resolve. Dialogue? The Xaraat bombed our colonies, slaughtered our civilians, and pushed us to the brink. We don't want dialogue, we want justice. They started this war, and we're going to finish it. Suddenly, the chamber's lights dimmed, and a holographic projection materialized in the center. It was Emperor Kor of the Xaraat Empire, his scales gleaming under the artificial light, eyes narrowed and calculating. Human representative, we meet at last. Harper's expression hardened. Emperor Kor, here to beg for mercy? Kor's nostrils flared as he emitted a low growl. Mercy? Xaraat do no bet. We have fought for millennia, long before your kind emerged from your primordial seas. But we recognize a formidable opponent when we see one. We propose an armistice. The room fell silent, all eyes on Harper, waiting for his response. He stood, commanding the attention of everyone present. Armistice? You mean a temporary pause so you can regroup and strike again? Not happening. You either surrender unconditionally, or we continue until one of us is wiped out. Emperor Kor's eyes blazed with anger. Do not underestimate us, humans. We have resources and allies beyond your comprehension. A continued war will only result in mutual destruction. Harper leaned in, his voice cold and unyielding. We've been underestimating ourselves for too long. This war has shown us what we're capable of. So if mutual destruction is what it takes, then so be it. But make no mistake, we will not stop until we've achieved total victory. The council chamber erupted into chaos, voices overlapping as representatives argued, pleaded, and debated. High Chancellor Theron's voice boomed over the cacophony. Order! We must maintain order. Captain Harper remained standing, his gaze locked on Emperor Kor. Your move, Emperor. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Kor's image flickered, his expression inscrutable. Very well, human. If it is war you seek, war you shall have. But know this, the Kavorian Empire will not fall easily. With that, the hologram vanished, leaving the chamber in stunned silence. High Chancellor Theron turned to Harper, his glow dimmed to a somber hue. Captain Harper, you must understand the gravity of the situation. The galaxy cannot endure endless war. Harper nodded, his expression resolute. I understand perfectly, Chancellor. But humanity has finally found its purpose, and we're not about to let go of it. As the council adjourned, representatives filed out, leaving Harper alone in the vast chamber. He took a deep breath, the weight of the galaxy's expectations pressing down on him. But he felt no fear, only the burning determination of a species that had found its calling in the crucible of war. The battle for the galaxy had only just begun, and humanity was ready to fight until the bitter end. In the days following the heated council meeting, Captain Harper returned to the command ship of the Human Expeditionary Fleet, the USS Vanguard, docked at the edge of a massive asteroid field. The Vanguard served as the nerve center for humanity's war efforts. Harper's return was met with salutes and brisk reports from his officers, but his focus was already on the next steps. The war room aboard the Vanguard was a hive of activity. Holographic displays projected the current state of the galaxy, highlighting conflict zones, fleet movements, and intelligence reports. Harper stood at the center, flanked by his key officers, Admiral Brian Carter, a seasoned tactician, and General Lucas Bennett, commander of the ground forces. Admiral Carter, with his weathered features and sharp eyes, tapped the control panel, zooming in on the Vortenholm system. Captain, we've identified a weakness in their defenses. Their main shipyards in the Yara Nebula are heavily fortified, but their supply lines are vulnerable. If we can disrupt their logistics, we can cripple their ability to build and repair their fleet. General Bennett nodded, his muscular frame embodying the relentless strength of humanity's ground forces. Our troops are ready for a coordinated strike. Hit them hard, and they won't know what hit them. Harper studied the holographic display, his mind racing through the possibilities. We need to be swift and decisive. If we can cut off their supply lines, we'll force them into a defensive stance. But we also need to be prepared for their retaliation. They won't take this lying down. Admiral Carter pointed to a section of the hologram. Our intelligence suggests that the Xaraat fleet is massing near the Draken Belt. We could be looking at a significant engagement there. If we strike their supply lines, they might pull back to defend them, giving us an opening. Harper's eyes gleamed with determination. All right, we'll launch Operation Severance. Admiral, you coordinate the fleet movements. General, prepare your men for deployment. We strike at dawn. As the officers dispersed to carry out their orders, Harper took a moment to gaze out of the viewport at the vast expanse of space. Humanity had come a long way from its humble beginnings. Now, they were on the brink of reshaping the galaxy. There was no turning back. Hours later, the fleet was assembled and ready. The Vanguard led a formation of battleships, cruisers, and support vessels, all poised for the attack. Harper stood on the bridge, his presence a steady anchor for his crew. The tension was palpable, but so was the resolve. All ships report ready, Captain, said Lieutenant Sarah Connor, the communications officer. We're green across the board. Harper nodded. Good. Set course for the Yara Nebula. Engage on my mark. The fleet surged forward, engines blazing as they moved toward their target. The journey was tense, but uneventful, a calm before the storm. As they approached the nebula, the ships went to battle stations, weapons primed and shields at full strength. Admiral Carter, take us into the nebula. Keep the formation tight. We don't want to get separated in there, Harper ordered. The fleet plunged into the swirling clouds of the Yara Nebula, their sensors struggling to pierce the dense gas and electromagnetic interference. But the element of surprise was on their side. As they neared the Xaraat shipyards, the enemy's defensive fleet came into view. Caught off guard by the sudden assault, the Xaraat ships were soon engulfed in battle. "All ships, open fire," Harper commanded. The void erupted with the fury of battle. Laser beams, plasma bolts, and missile trails crisscrossed the space between the two fleets. The human ships, equipped with advanced targeting systems and robust shields, pressed the attack relentlessly. Xaraat ships exploded in brilliant bursts of light, their defensive formations collapsing under the onslaught. Amidst the chaos, General Bennett led a precision strike on the ground. Drop ships descended onto the enemy facilities, deploying squads of heavily armed soldiers. The fighting was fierce, but the human troops, fueled by adrenaline and determination, pushed through with ruthless efficiency. Harper watched the tactical display, coordinating the fleet's maneuvers and directing reinforcements where needed. "Admiral, focus fire on their command ships. We need to disrupt their coordination." The Xaraat flagship, a massive dreadnought bristling with weapons, became the primary target. Human ships concentrated their fire, battering the flagship's shields until they collapsed. A final barrage from the Vanguard's main cannons reduced the dreadnought to a flaming wreck. "Captain, we've secured the shipyards," General Bennett reported over the comms. "Their defenses are in shambles. We're mopping up the last pockets of resistance now." Harper allowed himself a rare smile of satisfaction. "Excellent work, General. Begin dismantling their facilities. We don't want them rebuilding anytime soon." As the human forces consolidated their victory, Harper knew this was only the beginning. The Xaraat would regroup and retaliate, but humanity had proven it could strike deep into enemy territory. The message was clear. Earth was a force to be reckoned with. "Captain, incoming transmission from the Galactic Council," Lieutenant Connor announced. "Patch it through." Harper's expression hardened as he prepared for another round of diplomatic sparring. The holographic image of High Chancellor Theron materialized, his luminescent form flickering with agitation. "Captain Harper, we have received reports of your actions in the Yara Nebula. The Council demands an explanation." Harper met the Chancellor's gaze unflinchingly. "With all due respect, Chancellor, we're not looking for approval. We're looking for victory. The Xaraat wanted a war, and we're giving them one. If they want peace, they know where to find us." Theron's glow intensified, reflecting his inner turmoil. "This war threatens the entire galaxy, Captain. We must find a way to end it." Harper's voice was cold and resolute. "We will end it, Chancellor, on our terms." As the transmission ended, Harper turned back to the viewport, the fires of determination burning bright in his eyes. The road ahead was long and fraught with peril, but humanity had found its path and was ready to forge ahead. The weeks following the daring assault on the Yara Nebula were marked by relentless skirmishes and strategic maneuvers. The human expeditionary fleet, now emboldened by their victory, continued to press the Xaraat Empire on multiple fronts. However, the war was far from over, and the Xaraat were regrouping for a counteroffensive. Captain Harper stood on the bridge of the USS Vanguard, overseeing the latest reports. The human forces had made significant gains, but the cost was high. Every victory brought them closer to a final confrontation that would decide the fate of the galaxy. "Captain, incoming transmission from Admiral Carter," Lieutenant Connor announced. "Put him through." The holographic image of Admiral Carter appeared, his expression grave. "Captain, our scouts have confirmed a massive Xaraat fleet amassing near the Drakenbelt. They're preparing for a decisive strike." Harper's jaw tightened. "How many ships are we talking about?" "At least 3 times our number," Carter replied. "They're throwing everything they've got at us." Harper nodded, his mind racing through possibilities. "We can't afford to engage them head-on. We need to outthink them, use their numbers against them." General Bennett, standing nearby, spoke up. "Captain, we've identified several key choke points in the Drakenbelt. If we can lure their fleet into those areas, we can use the asteroid field to our advantage." "Excellent," Harper said. "All units, fall back to the primary choke point. Admiral, Have your cruisers ready to flank them once they're in position. The Xaraat, driven by their superior numbers and desire for revenge, pushed deeper into the asteroid field. As they converged on the human fleet's apparent position, the trap was sprung. Human ships emerged from hiding, attacking from multiple angles and creating confusion in the Xaraat ranks. Admiral Carter, command your cruisers to swoop in from the flanks. Cut off their retreat and trap them in a deadly crossfire, Harper ordered. The asteroid field, once a treacherous obstacle, became a weapon in the hands of the human fleet. Xaraat ships collided with asteroids and each other, their formations crumbling under the relentless assault. Amidst the chaos, Harper received a direct transmission from Emperor Core. The reptilian leader's visage filled the screen, eyes burning with fury. Mason, you dare to challenge the might of the Xaraat Empire? You will be destroyed. Harper's expression was one of cold resolve. Your empire's days are numbered, Core. Surrender now, and we might spare what's left of your forces. Core's response was a guttural roar. Never! We will fight to the last. The transmission cut off, and Harper turned to his crew. All units, focus fire on their command ships. Break their will to fight. The battle raged on, but the outcome was becoming clear. The Xaraat fleet, despite their superior numbers, was outmaneuvered and outgunned. One by one, their command ships were destroyed, leaving the remaining forces in disarray. As the last of the Xaraat ships either fled or were destroyed, a sense of quiet triumph settled over the human fleet. The battle was won, but the war was not over. Captain, we have an incoming transmission from the Galactic Council, Lieutenant Connor announced. Patch it through. Harper braced himself as High Chancellor Theron's holographic image appeared, his luminescent form now dimmed with a mix of resignation and hope. Captain Harper, the Council has witnessed your actions. The Xaraat Empire is in disarray. We implore you to consider a ceasefire. Harper took a deep breath. Chancellor, we did not come this far to leave the job half done. The Xaraat need to understand that their days of conquest are over. Theron's voice was calm, almost pleading. Captain, think of the lives that can be saved. The galaxy has suffered enough. Let us negotiate a lasting peace. Harper glanced at his officers, seeing the weariness in their eyes. They had fought bravely, but the toll of war was undeniable. He turned back to Theron. We'll consider your proposal, Chancellor. But know this. If the Xaraat ever threaten us again, we will be ready. Theron's form brightened slightly, a sign of hope. Thank you, Captain. The Council will work to ensure a fair and lasting peace. As the transmission ended, Harper addressed his crew. Prepare for the next phase. We may have won this battle, but the future of the galaxy will be shaped by what we do next. The crew nodded, their spirits lifted by the promise of peace. Harper looked out at the stars, the weight of his decisions pressing down on him. Humanity had proven its strength, but now it was time to prove its wisdom. The road to peace would be long and difficult, but Harper was ready. They had come too far to falter now. With resolve and determination, humanity would carve its place in the galaxy, not just as warriors, but as champions of a new era. As the dust of the battle settled and the remnants of the Xaraat fleet drifted through the void, Captain Harper stood on the bridge of the USS Vanguard, looking out at the now peaceful expanse of space. The stars shone brightly, a symbol of hope and renewal. High Chancellor Theron's transmission had set the stage for a new chapter, one where diplomacy and peace would be the focus. Harper knew the path ahead would be fraught with challenges, but the victory at Drakenbelt had shifted the balance. He turned to his crew, their faces reflecting a mix of exhaustion and relief. We've fought hard, and we've won. Now, let's ensure that our actions lead to a lasting peace. The galaxy needs us to be more than just soldiers. It needs us to be architects of a better future. Admiral Carter and General Bennett exchanged determined glances, nodding in agreement. The crew, inspired by their captain's words, prepared to engage in the next phase of their mission, one that would focus on rebuilding alliances and fostering stability across the galaxy. Harper took one last look at the stars, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment and responsibility. Humanity had proven its strength and resilience, And now it was time to guide the galaxy toward a new era of unity and cooperation. As the Vanguard set a course for the heart of the galaxy, Captain Harper's voice echoed through the command deck. Let's make sure our legacy is one of hope and peace. The future is ours to shape. The ship sailed forward into the star-studded expanse, a beacon of humanity's newfound purpose, ready to build a future where the lessons of the past would light the way to a brighter tomorrow.